Hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to episode 4 of 25 with Tech 25. I'm Tim Higgins, Secretary here at District 25.
Chris Vano, Director of Technology for the district. Great to be back with everyone this week.
And yeah, we are here to talk about kind of a whole mix of different things, but centering kind of around the idea of social media, of collaborating, of sharing ideas, of communicating amongst our colleagues, our students, with each other, and with our community. And so, we're going to kind of do it rapid fire, which is the way we've been doing it this season. I think that kind of gives us the chance to talk about more stuff to kind of make the whole range between, beginners and people who have kind of been a little bit more experienced with tech. Everybody can take a little bit of something away. And as always, we really appreciate any feedback that we can get from you. We've kind of, from the couple of things we've heard from people, we've definitely molded the show to sort of to fit those needs and fit those suggestions. So you can always get us at tech25 at sd25.org. What is it? .org. Yeah. I don't even know our own emails. Or as you can see on the screen, you can always tweet at us, which is actually kind of the first thing that we are going to go ahead and talk about.
Yeah, so please take advantage of that during the show, after the show, in between. This show is about communication and social media. Those are two ways to get a hold of us. And so if you have questions or things that you want to share in about any of the topics that we're talking about today, please blast those out. It helps everybody kind of know how you're using it in your position too in the district.
And really the first thing I want to mention, and it's like kind of, I guess, a rule to live by in terms of being techie, is that we kind of want everybody to be, I guess, fearless in a way of, if you've heard of something cool but you don't know anything about it, I don't want anybody to feel like, just because you don't know what something is or how it works, that you shouldn't be jumping in and using it. All of this tech stuff, the success comes from using stuff that you hear about, that you come across. Try it out. I can actually tell you that 3 of the things that I was researching for today, I didn't really know about before this morning. I jumped into it, about an hour ago and played around with it, and I feel like I've gotten a bit of a handle on it to kind of take it from there.
And I think the last piece about that before we jump in is just another plug for all of our support staff and your peers in the building. You never know who's using some of this stuff and how they're using it, but they're a great resource to be able to reach out and say, I saw a little bit about this product or that product. I want to jump in. How do you use it? What kind of things do I need to be concerned about if you're worried about setting up accounts or where information is going? Talk with your peers, talk with your tech team at the building, talk with us. We want to be here for that support. So when you see these things come at you today, just get a little flavor for them and start to imagine how they could apply to help you in your own professional learning or with managing your classroom and talking with your parents.
Awesome. So with that, we're going to jump right into our first topic, which is going to be Twitter. So I'm going to share our screen.
And while you're doing that, just while Tim's loading that up, just a reminder about Twitter too. A lot of people still have kind of this mindset that Twitter is just for following celebrities, or that it kind of has this real niche area. What we found and what we want to make sure we reiterate as he goes into this is that this could be a very, very strong component of your personal learning network. That's one area where you could reach out to other educators and experts in the field. But it also is a great way to communicate out to groups who will follow you on Twitter. So whether that's your parent group, a sports group, a team or a club that you're running, Twitter really has a lot of different possibilities for connecting far beyond finding out what somebody was doing today on tour or something like that, even though that's a nice help too.
Absolutely. So the best way to start, and for anybody who's watching, whether it's live, whether it's on the video afterwards, I want you to go to Twitter, click on this button to sign up if you don't have one already. It's simple. You put in your name, you put in your email address. I would suggest, especially in the best place to kind of try this out is going to be here in the district. Use your district email address, and then make up a password. You sign up. It's as simple as that. What happens after that is once you have your login, and I know I ran into a couple of issues last week logging in. I think I've sorted them out since then.
It's the beauty of live television.
Right. And which, goes to show anytime you have an account, we have a lot of accounts, a lot of passwords in our lives these days. Never be afraid to click on the forgot password button watch this. There we go. And so here we are in my Secretary Tim, at Secretary Tim, we can see over here on the left-hand corner in sort of my little, I guess, menu status window here. Tells me who I am. This is the name I signed up under. And then my Twitter handle, which is my alias, is my marker for Twitter. It's what identifies me in the Twitter community. It has you pick a unique name, so nobody else has it. You would be the one to have it. And that is how you will communicate. And Twitter, really, it's a network. It's a whole bunch of different connections that are made. So the more people that you follow, and we see here I'm following 78. I have 86 followers. The more people you are connected with means the more information that you are kind of connected to that you will be shown, and the more people that anything that you share will be sent out to. So, you know, the benefit of having more followers is you have a larger voice in the conversation. Now we see here that there's some different things happen. We have some in the middle here, the different tweets that are coming in. Now I'm following on this account mostly people in the district, so anytime somebody tweets out, whether it's pictures, text about what's going on in their classroom, it shows up here in my little feed, and gives me an idea of all the people that I'm following, what's happening. So we can, you know, jump into all of these areas. We see Dave Keller here tweeting away. You can also search, or I can click up top what's happening. I can tweet out something myself. Having a great episode so far. I'm going to give it a hashtag tag, which is a term that you have definitely heard in the world here. And we are going to do 25W Tech 25 is our hashtag. And what a hashtag does is it collects tweets together. So anybody that uses the hashtag, it will collect it, and I'm going to show you in a second how you search based on a hashtag to see all tweets that have to do with a specific topic, a specific event even. And so what I would ask is anybody who does have Twitter, or if you're making an account right now, tweet something and use our hashtag, the 25 with Tech 25, so that we can gather it together. So just kind of, it's a simple, easy way to first experience this whole tweeting thing. You can also add in other handles. So I'm going to add in our AHSD25 Tech handle, and so that will tweet it then to the page of our tech department Twitter as well. So we will tweet that, and here it shows up right up top in my little feed. Notifications let you know anytime that somebody that you're following or some sort of subject that you're following shows up here. And then messages, you can actually send private messages back and forth between people as well. So if you see something pretty cool here on Twitter, you want to get a little bit more information, but it's not something necessarily that the community will benefit from. If it's, you know, a more specific question, comment, you can always private message somebody as well. And then we see here on the tweets themselves a couple little icons. You can reply, which is then to kind of tweet back if somebody had mentioned you in a tweet. You can reply back to them. You can retweet. So if there's something that you come across on somebody else's Twitter that you find kind of neat, you can retweet it. You can also hit the little star and make it a favorite as well. So that is a little bit of Twitter.
And there's one area too that talking about professional learning network, a lot of people feel constrained by who should I follow, who's out there, how do I really get beyond maybe just who's on my team. One thing I want to encourage everybody to do is to use this search Twitter for events that I'm not sure how much you talked about this in terms of like global events, but this is an area that will not only get you followers, but it is also a very up-to-date, accurate news stream. So for example, right now, if we look at something even just out in the news is short-term funding. Okay, so this is real life here. You're doing current events in your classroom. When you search even on a term, you can see that it will go out and find tweets, even of people that you haven't directly followed, but that is around the topic in which you're trying to get more information about. Now, you can use this for information or news and find out the links that they have. So this is all kind of stuff that, you know, is about the short-term funding bill that just got approved by the Senate just a couple seconds ago or a couple minutes ago. again, they have links, but then you can also, from this page, choose to follow these people. So maybe it is something like, hey, I want to follow Breaking Politics or CNBC Now. All of those things, then you could just jump in and add some relevant users to your group. So again, this isn't necessarily just for current events, but it could also be for things like, let's say it's problem-based learning. Okay, so we can see that right in here, there are a bunch of things about, problem-based learning and YouTube videos. And again, it just gives you another way to jump off and see topics of interest, not just always followed by individuals too. So between all of those ways, that should be able to get you started with some ways to start using Twitter, both for your own professional learning and to share with your colleagues.
Awesome. So that's Twitter. So I suggest everybody jump on there whenever you're watching this video and send some sort of tweet to us using that hashtag, that 25 with tech 25 hashtag. And we see here we've got a couple people. Dave Keller sending some shout out here.
And Mr. Keller too also asked if we could make the screen a little bit bigger for those who are viewing out. So we will definitely try to do that. We'll try to zoom in maybe on the window for some of these smaller ones that we know are probably a little bit more difficult for you to see.
And the next thing we're moving on to is actually YouTube. So I'm going to jump into YouTube and I will full screen that. So YouTube, another sort of situation where you get to share what's going on in your classroom, in your students' world, out to the world. And one of the great things, YouTube is now part of Google. So you have actually a YouTube account created along with your sign-in that you already have. So I just went to youtube.com. It gives us the normal sort of like splash page here. But we can go over to the left-hand side and click on My Channel. If I click on My Channel, I get a page where I've added in a banner. It defaults to my little icon that's used for Google. And then below are all the videos that I have posted. So we've used this page specifically for our 25 with Tech 25. So that is the majority of our videos here. What I'd like to just simply show us is, now if you want to add something to your YouTube page, in the upper right hand corner is a little upload button. If you click the arrow, it gives you a normal Finder window where you can go in and find a video that you'd like. I'm going to grab the bumper that we showed, our new bumper for the show that displayed at the beginning, and I just click choose. It uploads it. It'll go ahead and process it, so that goes through kind of two steps. It'll upload it. It'll then process it so that it's able to be played, and then you can give it your title. So we're going to do Tech 25 opening. Give it descriptions. You can tag it, which will help in terms of when people come back to search for something. If you add more tags to it, more search results will show up in the end. So I am going to hit publish here. And then I'm going to return to editing. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm going to save my changes. And then I'm going to head back to my channel. Okay, so we come over here to videos. And it must still be processing. I'm not seeing it come up. But ultimately, what you will be able to do is, once that shows up, I must have canceled the upload, but you can come into your videos here and you can come up to your video manager. Here it is, showing up now. It just finished processing, so it's shown up here. And we can select it. Now here's kind of a nice little thing. If we give it a little checkbox, click on the actions, we can set its level of privacy. So we can make it completely public, which means it's searchable on all of YouTube. It's unlisted, which means that it's available on YouTube, but it won't necessarily come up in any capacity. You'd have to either have the link or know about it initially. It won't come up in just a random search. Or you can make it completely private, where you can completely control everybody who is viewing it. You'd have to send out the specific link and invite people to the actual video. Here for this channel, because it's professional development, we keep it all public for anybody to see. Click the edit button, and then we can come back to edit some of those initial things that we set up before. And then you can also if we come back to our channel and we go to playlists, you can create playlists. So the way that I'm setting up all of our 25 with Tech 25s is I've created a playlist per season. You enter into a playlist, and then we can add videos so that it actually strings along videos that are related to one another, especially if they're short little videos either produced by the students or you with small things that happen in the classroom. You can string together an entire group of videos that happen to be from October or from a specific unit. You can add it to a playlist that way. Makes it a little bit more viewer friendly for the people visiting your YouTube page.
Well, and also too, that really supports some of the instructional strategies that we have in the district with things like if you are doing flipped classroom or you're doing some reinforcement teaching or some personalization, that you can have them organized by topic or, like you said, unit, and then be able to send out or embed those specific links even in other web pages or in other apps. And that may be something we get to in a later episode with YouTube, or if you want to show them now, but that's also the real power, is that these videos can then be included in blog posts, in assignments, and kind of anywhere you want to with this embedded link.
Mm-hmm. And so a perfect example of that would be then you can grab your link out of here, put it on your, just tweet out whatever the video was. It's what we typically do with these videos is we send out the email, we tweet out the links, and all of that. So that's a little bit of YouTube. Another little Apple trick that sometimes people get caught with. So I'm using this full screen mode. Nice on smaller computers where you might not have all the screen real estate that you want. In the upper right hand corner are these two arrows that can optimize your screen usage. One other thing, so we're kind of, again, rocking through here pretty quick. One other little thing I want to talk about right now in Google, and in terms of sharing with different people and kind of controlling the group of people that you're going to be communicating with, is something called Google Groups. So if we click on our normal little apps menu, select groups, excuse me, this brings us into a section of Google not often used. So here at the district, one of my jobs is putting together and managing the different email groups that we use all the time, whether it's our building staff email addresses used all the time, or more specific groups to grade levels, to buildings, to psychologists, so on. And I build those in our admin side of Google. This application actually gives you the ability to make your own groups that will also publicly show up inside of in Google when you start typing in a search term in like an email. These groups that you can create will become that. So if you click on my groups, you'd see a list of the groups that you are a part of as an owner or as a manager. And up top, we see that there's this Create Groups button. So if we click Create Groups, we would name it. So Tech 25 Show. We see down below it automatically fills in an actual email address that will then be the actual searchable address for this particular group. You can put in a description, and then down below you can kind of change what the users are able to do. Right off the bat, it's set up to be just basically an email group. It's worth taking a little bit closer of a look, or following up with us to find out some of the other things you can do with groups, but specifically email is going to be the most useful thing. And so I can create this. And of course, it's giving us an error. Google's been having a couple issues today. I was hoping it was going to let us come through here without any problems, but it's looking like they're going to be a little bit difficult. So it's not letting me create a new group at this moment because Google's having some server issues, but I created some test groups in some recent days. And if I click on any one of these groups, you can see that there's a small manage section. And if we manage this, we get a list of the actual people that are a part of this group that are included that will receive emails if they are sent. If there are more people we'd like to add, we can come down here to this direct add members, where we would then just start entering the emails of people that we would like. And since we have our own domain here at District 25, it'll still give us sort of that autofill menu to be able to add other people. And down here we can set, again, permissions, and we're just going to set all email, and we can add those people, where they'll get an invitation sort of confirmation in there as an email that they've been added to this group. And once they've accepted it, they will be added to this list down below here. So, and it'll take overnight for that list to show up in email when you're searching, but it will show up the next day as it processes through Google servers. So that's Google Groups. Yeah. Another kind of neat little thing that I heard about just recently is something called Seesaw. And Seesaw is actually an extension or like a Chrome extension, something we talked about, I believe it was 2 weeks ago in our one of our episodes. And Seesaw is kind of like a social media type platform for sharing images, videos, notes, and things like that would be perfect for sharing the things that are happening in your classroom, sharing them out. And there's even a parent aspect to this. So it's something that can be student driven. They can fill in all of the content. Shows up on sort of a wall, basically, if you're familiar with the Facebook term, a wall where different content is displayed. And then the students can see other people's work. You can see all the students' work, and then parents can actually also see their students' work as well. So if we click on, I'm a teacher, another great thing, all of these sites, all of these services that are coming out very often are integrating with Google. And so if I just sign in with Google here, we see that it recognized me until it kicked me back out. So I'm going to sign in. And it tells me that I have no classes. So the first step of this, once you create your Seesaw account, is to click up in the upper left-hand corner, create a new class. And we're going to do this where we create a class code. And we're going to just call this 25 with Tech 25. We're going to say it is another age group. And then I'm going to make my student, which is Tech or Turtle. Okay, and we would be able to go down the list and create different students so that work can be specifically sent to, or I guess really associated with a specific student. We hit our green checkbox in the upper right, and we are ready to go. So we hit the checkbox, and here we are in the normal setup. Now, I'm actually going to switch over here, in a second. So if we do class code, so we can have students enter into this with mobile devices. They can have, iPads ready to go to document whatever they're looking to share here on Seesaw. And this class code comes up. So I'm going to, here in a second, airplay in and just kind of show you what it looks like on the iPad side of things. So I'm going to mirror here. And over here, we've entered Seesaw as an app, so that if we were planning on using this in a classroom, we'd want to talk to the building BST so they can push the Seesaw app out to our different devices. But if we tap on that, and I say I am a student, I'm going to bring up Seesaw here on my computer. And we're going to get a class code. As soon as the little camera option on there sees it, it connects right to our 25 with Tech 25 section. And then we can grab a video by tapping on the little green picture where you got Bubbles and Tech or Turtle not really doing much of anything, but sitting here on the rack. We stop that. I hit my little green checkbox to say that that is the video I would like to keep. And then I get to choose as a student which student I am. So as a teacher, there takes a small amount of setup where you would have to add the names in here quick. I say that that is what I'd like to submit. It prepares the item. It uploads it. And then the nice thing, again, giving you as the teacher sort of the ability here to I guess not really censor, but make sure that everything that's getting posted is something that we would desire to be posted. If I refresh, that we see right down at the bottom is one unapproved item that if I select, it gives me a preview of what this piece of content is going to be. And then I can say, yes, we'd like it to be out on this more public forum. And it will then post it back. So if I switch back to the class journal, here is this video loading up here on the main page. From here, then all students can kind of get access here to be able to come in, comment on specific things, to give feedback or encouragement, and you can like kind of which ones are most exciting. To add more students, we would click on this Manage Students if we needed to add more later on, and you could paste a list. So if you just had a list, you can copy, paste that list, throw it into here, and it'll add individual students into our student section here of this page. And then for the parent section, if you come over back here to our menu on the left-hand corner and we manage our class, if we scroll down, there's this Enable Parent Access that then lets us invite parents via email, or it gives you a handout to print out to be able to hand out, where they can then get access to the page. Again, it's very controlled in who has access to this. When they find their student that they'd like to be able to see their collection of content, they send a request that, again, you as the teacher has to approve before they're able to view anything. So Seesaw, kind of a cool way to keep that transparency and keep parents involved in what's going on in your classroom, or even to different classes within your school with your principal, things like that.
Absolutely. So I think it's a great way to kind of, it's one way to do the ePortfolio model, where we're trying to be able to share information quickly, easily, and as Tim said, transparently with many groups. The other thing that I would also encourage people to think about when they're looking at these tools, a lot of them are set up as teacher and student as in a classroom, but these can also have really, really good applications among different groups. So for example, if you did have a club or a sports team that you were using, having one of these where you could post up activities or results or highlight films or something like that, and engage parents or other community members in that way, I think it has a lot of benefit to it as well. We've seen a lot of services that come through that really have that classroom feel, but when you turn it around and you could see other applications between staff members or between other groups, it really becomes even more powerful. And next time we'll be continuing with some of the communication. We'll show you some other tools, especially that help share resources amongst our team, and then also out into the broader learning community like parents and other teachers.
Absolutely. And one thing I forgot to mention while we were doing the well, and actually, never mind. We'll talk about it next week, I think. So thank you
that's a teaser.
That's a teaser for next week. You'll have to show up next Wednesday. As always, thank you for watching, and have a great afternoon.
Take care.